Hello and God bless you. Today we will talk about what exactly is this Injil that Muslims are talking about through the scope of the Quran, though, not through what they are saying, what it is, because they say it is corrupted, it doesn't exist anymore, and all of that kind of stuff. There are three verses that telling us about what it could be, which means that either it did exist at the time of Muhammad or it was lost. It can't be both. So, without further ado, let's go to see in chapter 5 of verse 46 of the Quran. It says, and in their footsteps, meaning in the footsteps of the previous prophets, because the 45th verse is talking about Abraham, Moses, and all of these other prophets that it allegedly mentions. Jesus is coming, the son of Mary, confirming the Torah, which is the 5 books of Moses that had come before him. And we gave him the Injil, in which was guidance and light, and confirmation of the Torah that had come before it, a guidance and an admonition of Al Mutakun, the pious. So, this alleged Injil or Gospel should confirm the previous revelation, which actually logically follows, since there is a follow up of prophethood up until Jesus. Even in the Tafsirs, it says that Allah praises the Injil. If Allah mentions Isa and praises the Injil, that means that that book existed. What kind of book, though, it is talking about? So, within the tafsir, we only see that just explaining what it means with a verse, with a portion of a verse. But what exactly is the book? It doesn't actually explain. It only says that uh, the Injil abrogated rulings of Torah. But no scholars have ever done that. Nobody said, and I don't know where they get that from. How did the Injil abrogated rulings of Torah? I don't know what they mean by that. But that's what they're writing. So a book that is called Injil actually abrogates a previous book that is called the Torah. So that that gives us some insight of what that is. I'm sorry, I have to put everything on vibration. So we don't know what there is inside, only what Muslims are saying. Let's go to another verse. Let's go to chapter 19, verse 30. Chapter 19, verse 30 says, He, meaning Jesus, says, I am a slave of Allah, and He, meaning Allah, has given me the scripture and made me a prophet. Let's see what it means that. What does that mean? Let's see what that means, that he was given a scripture and was became a prophet, right? Let's read here. Their rejection of her and his reply to them. So, where it is? He has given me the scripture and made me a prophet. This was a declaration of innocence of his mother from the immorality that was attributed to her. So, where is the scripture? Where is the explanation? What kind of scripture? How is that a declaration of innocence of his mother? Just because he says he became a prophet? So, what kind of. I don't understand really. This made me a little bit skeptical. You try to understand what kind of scripture he is talking about while it's a child, and how can a baby say that he became a prophet? Do Muslims even understand? I really don't know. How can a baby say those things? But let's go to another one. Surah 3, verse 3. It is He who has sent down the book, the Quran, to you, wait, Muhammad, with truth, confirming what came before it. And He sent down the Torah and the Injil. So both the Injil and the Torah was sent down by someone who is He, meaning, meaning probably Allah. Okay? Let's see the tafsir what it says. Oh my goodness, it's so low. Okay. Reveal the Quran to you, Muhammad, in truth. There is no doubt or suspicion that it is revealed from Allah. Okay, fine. From the previous divinely revealed books sent to the servants and prophets of Allah. Which has these books? The Torah to Musa and the Injil to Isa before the Quran was revealed. So Allah has revealed both the Torah and the Injil. It still doesn't tell us what does it have inside, right? It's a confusion. Because if I'm going to go to the 7th century, what did we have at that time? We already had a compilation of the Bible. So we had a compilation from the 4th century. So which Injil is it talking about? I did a small research and I found this. If anybody knows that. The Tessaron. This has been a manuscript that has been found in the 17th century, but it was written in the 2nd century. And I will show you what it is about. One moment. All this is introduction. Now look at that compilation. Look at that. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word itself is God. That's John 1:1, isn't it? And then it goes to Luke, and then it continues with Luke. So it has a chronological, let's say this way, order of all four Gospels from the Gospel writers. Can Could it be that Muhammad was talking about that particular book? Because that was found in Egypt, written in Syrian, translated in also in Arabic, and also translated from Syriac to English and from Arabic also, because that's what the scholars say, that it was translated from those two languages into English. So could it be that the Quran was talking about that? But even if it was talking about that, how is it, and the Quran doesn't know, that the Word, which is God, is Jesus Christ? How is it, and it escapes it from the Quran? So this is a contradiction, an internal contradiction within the Quran. It talks about a specific book revealed by someone. It doesn't tell us the context of that book, but what it tells us is that it exists in the 7th century. So could it be that it is talking about this particular work? And that is what I wanted to talk about, because I've read some parts of that, and it is compilation of the Gospel of John, Gospel of Mark, Gospel of Matthew, Gospel of Mark, all four Gospels. See, Matthew here, now the birth of Jesus Christ, Matthew, right? Matthew 1. It's a compilation in an attempt of a chronological order of how the Gospel writers are, are going through it. So it's not let's say, a rewriting with different words. It's an attempt of a compilation of these four different Gospels. They're not different writers talking about the Gospel, which is Jesus Christ. So the other problem is that the scholars of Islam think that the Injil came to abrogate the Torah, like it says here in an explanation of 546, that the Injil abrogated some of the rulings of the Torah. So, how would that happen? How is it a confirmation and an abrogation? Right? It that's another that's another thing that would be very good to discuss. How to How can you confirm something while you want to override it? You can't confirm something that you want to override. So I don't know. Maybe it's too early. Uh, all of that, but I think we could find some clarity on this, and that's why I think that this test, the Atessaron, played a big role in the Middle East. Also, in the Middle East, when people are saying gospel, evangelion, Injil, they actually mean the whole New Testament. You can ask anyone who is in the Middle East, even right now, because it's a tradition that has been left from the old. Whenever somebody is talking about the New Testament, they call it Evangelion or Injil or Gospel, depending on which country you are going. I grew up in Greece, and whenever somebody was talking about the New Testament, they were saying to Evangelio to Christou, Christ's Gospel, the Gospel of Christ. That was the New Testament, at least in Greece, where I grew up. So, based on that logic, could it be that the Quran is just talking about the New Testament and not the Atessaron? But if it is that, then how is it? And in chapter 9, verse 31, say that the Christians calling Jesus the Son of God is something bad. Because within the New Testament, within these books, we see that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. So how it is confirming and yet denying it? And if it is in the New Testament, then what book is it talking about? So I guess 30 minutes, 25 minutes is enough for a life, for a beginning. Uh, I will be doing something more a little bit later, maybe next week, on another subject, uh, like who is Christ in the Quran and who is Christ in the Gospel or in the Old Testament, which could be a much more lengthy and much more difficult topic. This is actually an easy topic because these scriptures of the Quran doesn't give us a big insight. It just gives us an a way out instead of an explanation. I gave him the gospel, just whatever that is. Even the scholars of Islam cannot tell us the context of the gospel. What was the context? Why is it called gospel? Good news. Good news of what? Guidance and light for what? And what did it confirm? There are no answers to these questions under the standard Islamic narrative. So thank you very much. And I hope to see you next time.